All right. It's 6:01 and we are excited to have you guys with us tonight. Thanks on behalf of SHFM and LifeWorks for putting together such a great event. And we are excited for this culinary adventure. So first, I'm Brisbane Valancourt. I'm part of the LifeWorks team. I'm going to send you to Arizona with Chef Margaret. So cheers, Chef Margaret.
You know what they say when you toast and you don't look at in the eye. I think
Margaret's on mute. So what we'll do is we'll head over to Jersey Shore first, and we're going to have Suzanne Kim make us this first wonderful cocktail that we have for you tonight.
So hopefully you had some time to do a little of the prep work. So we have the black pepper and thyme infused simple syrup. That was part of the homework. If not though, not a problem, just watch. You guys can do it later. So we have all our mise en place. We've got our bitters, we've lime juice, we've got Nolette's dry gin. So our testers, I have to do a shout out to Eileen and Mike Connor, who are the PMs to End All PMs, as well as amazing mixologists. So they did all the testing. So they tested a bunch of different gins. And this is the one that had the best, the smoothest taste with the ingredients. And then we also have our cucumber that we're going to be talking about. So let's get started. First off, we have this amazing herb garden over here. So I'm just going to take some of that.
So Suzanne, if I'm not a fan of gin, can I do something, use a different alcohol while we make this with you tonight?
Absolutely. So if you're not a fan of gin, there's a couple different things you could do. So if you like tequila, using a silver tequila, you can also use different gins. You can also use vodka. If you want to, let's say you're watching your alcohol intake, not so much in Corona at this time, but if you are, then you can also do it as a mocktail. So you can take out the gin altogether and you can substitute. There's some really cool seltzers out there because I think with the simple syrup and the lime, it could get a little sweet. So if you use a non-sweetened seltzer, they have all kinds of fun different flavors. Some that have a ginger base, others that have a fruit base, and you can use that instead.
Oh, wonderful.
Right.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's get started. So we've got our simple syrup. We'll put it in this cute little thing here. And the simple syrup is really, it doesn't have a strong peppery taste if you haven't done it. It just has a really nice undertone of the thyme and the black peppercorns. So we do a little shake of the bitters. And we're using grapefruit bitters. You can use different bitters if you want a slightly different taste profile. We've got our lime juice. Pour it now. Sorry, I didn't have a little thing, so we're a little messy on the lime juice. All right, so we're just going to muddle this together. And basically what we're doing is we're trying to get all those essential oils out of the mint leaves. And it smells amazing. So you get that kind of earthy, but that mint, it's not a sweet smell at all. So do that. Then we're going to add our gin, and you can do this as you please. So the recipe calls for 1 3/4. If you can be either a little heavy pour or a light pour, either is fine.
Now, Suzanne, I don't have fresh thyme in my backyard. Are there any other herbs that you might recommend that could replace thyme?
You can do different ones than mint, but it does change the flavor profile, and then you'll kind of end up with a different drink. But if you will want to add the mint, you don't have to, because I think that there's so many flavors going on here that you'll enjoy it regardless. All right, so this was a little messy the last time I did it. Get it nice and cold. I might have to get my strong guys over on the other to help me with this, because this is what I did last time. Here, can you help me? Chef James to the rescue. Thank you. All right, so we're gonna take one of our cups here. We'll just dip it in the lime juice. And I use the bowl specifically because I don't have a rimmer at home. So you can kind of use anything that's flat and you'll get the same effect. So go ahead. Walking with you here. So we're going to double strain this. Basically, it's just to make sure that, oh, we didn't have ice in there. We're going to double strain it just to make sure that we're not walking around at a cocktail party with any kind of green in our tea. All right. And the double straining is really easy. So these glasses are a little bit bigger than the glasses because, you know, we're out on the Jersey Shore, so they're a little bigger than what was in the picture. That was a 12-ounce glass that we did it with, but these are 16. So you can either make it, you can increase the portions, or because I like it a little light, so you can just add a little bit more ginger beer to it. All right, and then you want to garnish that. And a little sprig of thyme, and voila, you have a nice cocktail. Wild times and summer breezes. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to pass this over to Margaret if she's ready over in Arizona. All right, yep. Chef Margaret. Cheers, Margaret.
Cheers. Thank you, Suzanne. I always hesitate to cheers when I can't look you in the eye. You know what they say about toasting without making eye contact. Anyway, I'm Margaret Occhipinti. I'm part of the LifeWorks team. I am a senior culinary director. I'm super excited to have you here in my home in Mesa, Arizona. I am inside today because I'm sure you can imagine it's just a touch toasty outside. So what we're going to do today is we're going to build an antipasto board. As you can see, here's an example of a beautiful antipasto display. When we were talking about what we wanted to do, I thought building a board would be super fun. I think boards are certainly having a moment right now. You can see them all over Instagram. People are posting charcuterie and cheese boards and antipasto boards, as well as pancake boards and candy boards and things like that. So I think sometimes folks might be slightly intimidated to put something together. So I thought it'd be fun to show you how easy it is and how you can put your own personal spin on an antipasto board or any kind of board that you choose. So now we are going to get to work.
So question for you, Chef.
Yes,
you know, is there any preparation you can do the night ahead? You know, sometimes you have a big party and you want to spend time with them when they arrive. Is there any prep work I can do the day before I have some friends over?
Absolutely, and hopefully those of you who are cooking along with us did do some prep work. We sent the recipes ahead. There's a lot of mise en place that can be done, so you'll see right here on my board, I've got some beautiful marinated olives. I marinated those last night. I've got a white bean hummus, which I made last night, super creamy and delicious. I've got some roasted peppers. These are local peppers. We're kind of out of our peak of produce in Arizona right now, but fortunately I was able to sneak in a few items. So this is from McClellan Farms in Phoenix, and these were roasted. When you roast the peppers and peel them, they get an incredibly sweet flavor. This is a house-made tart cherry jam, and this is an eggplant caponata, which I guess when you look at it, it might not look so appealing, but I would definitely encourage anyone to try it. It is magnificent. It's one of my very, very favorite things. It's just bursting with flavor. It's got capers and olives and roasted eggplant and slightly sweet from raisins and a little bit tart from vinegar. So I have all my mise en place set up here. And so I wanted to go through the act of building a board. There is really no rhyme or reason. You can just start putting it together. Think about things like color and texture. As I'm slicing this salami, I just want to remind you that I did wash my hands ahead of time and they're good to go. Always, you know, we want to make sure we have good sanitation. But you can see as I'm using my knife, I've got my fingers tucked in and I'm just using them as a guide to slice down here on this salami. So we're going to go ahead and arrange that on the platter.
Chef, if I was entertaining some vegetarians, what would you recommend I maybe substitute the salami with?
Well, there's so many things you can do. As you see here, there's a lot of fresh items. For vegetarian, I definitely would enhance with lots of fresh vegetables. You'll see here I have some more items that I did prep yesterday. I've got some beautiful grilled asparagus, and this is also local. This is from Reba Farms in Chandler, Arizona. I have some roasted cremini mushrooms, which I'm just gonna arrange on the platter. I would fill up the platter with some beautiful fresh produce. It could be fresh, it could be marinated, it could be grilled, it could be pickled, but use the items that you like, use what's in season, and you know, be creative with your seasoning and your garnish and all that type of stuff. Of course, we have a ton of fresh cheese as well, which would work for vegetarian. If you're vegan, obviously we want to load up on more of the vegetables and the hummus and all of those items that, you know, will still be delicious, but hold true to that vegan or vegetarian dining style. So I'm adding peaches right now. These gorgeous peaches are local. They're from Schnepp Farms in Queen Creek. And we're actually right at the end of peach season, so I'm super lucky that I was able to get some. They've been really sweet this year, but when you marinate the peach and you grill it, you really bring out more of the sweetness and some really incredible flavors. So we're adding that on here. And you'll see, as you see, I'm just kind of adding things to the platters. I'm trying to look at colors and textures as I go along. So now I have some Romano cheese that I just sliced up, and I'm going to add that over here.
Now this looks like quite the grocery store visit. Is there, you know, one place that has kind of been your one-stop shop that has really made it a little easy for you to build your boards, that's your go-to?
Yeah, you know, yes, absolutely. You can find lots at Trader Joe's. Obviously, Whole Foods has a really great variety. We're fortunate that our local grocery store is also a really great source for some specialty items. And we have a few Italian delis with folks from that are from New York and Chicago. So some of these meats were actually purchased there. And then there's a local place in Queen Creek called the Pork Shop, and they make a lot of sausages. So we can also get items there.
Okay, nice.
Absolutely. So I always like to add a little bit of fun and whimsy, and that's one of the things that LifeWorks is all about. We like to make sure that we inspire every day and that we add that little fun to everything that we do. So you'll see I have some cheese cut out in shapes, and you know, this is fun for adults. It's also super fun for kids. But I just simply use a little cookie cutters, and these are kind of spring, summer shapes. As you get into the fall, you can do things like leaf shapes, and as we get closer to holidays and Christmas, you can certainly do little stars and Christmas trees and things like that. So now I'm cutting up some Fontina cheese. This is a nice, soft, creamy cheese. It's a little bit nutty. It isn't aged that long. And I also have Fontanella, which is also Fontina cheese, but is aged a lot longer and it has a sharper flavor. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of this Fontina cheese on here.
So Chef Margaret, we have a question that's come in from the group. So they'd like to know how we would estimate a serving size for a smaller group of 6 or so. So this board looks like it's, you know, for a pretty good size. You know, what are you thinking for portions, and how do you scale up or scale down your charcuterie board?
Absolutely. Well, unfortunately, this is something that Phil and I would eat. So for us, it would be portions for 2. But you know, truly, this would probably be a 6 or 8, you know, grazing type of thing. Part of the reason that I thought it would be awesome to showcase this is because, you know, for summer, you're sitting out at the Jersey Shore or you're hanging out at your pool, and you come back and you're gonna grill out on your big green egg, and you want to have something for folks to nosh on and kind of gather around and enjoy. So, you know, this definitely meets the mark. I think it depends on your guest, but if this was an antipasti, you know, a starter, I would say this would be perfect for 6 or 8 people. And definitely you can, you know, abbreviate your offerings. I don't always make caponata. It's one of my very, very favorite things, but we don't always have that when we do a simple picnic or when we do, you know, a antipasti for lunch or, you know, as an afternoon grazing platter for us. Anybody who knows me, anybody who comes here for dinner can certainly expect that you'll probably have antipasti as a starter most of the times when we have dinner. This is a peppered salami. It's from Venice. It has a lot of fennel in it. So what I try to do is make sure that I have a variety of flavors in the meats that I choose and the cheeses. So this is a very fennel-y sausage. The pepperoni is obviously a little bit more spicy. I have some mortadella right here, which is an Italian bologna. And this is flavored, again, with pepper, but it also has pistachios, and it has a little bit more mild flavor. When I think about the cheeses, I like to add a variety of flavors. So you saw I put some gorgonzola on the tray. I always like to have a blue cheese of some sort. It adds a pungent flavor that a lot of people are looking for. I like to have a creamier cheese, so that's where you see the boursin. The fontina is nice and nutty and soft. And then I usually try to have some sharper cheeses, so there's a variety of flavors. Typically, I'd like to have a smoked cheese as well. However, I was unable to find a nice smoked mozzarella, so you know, I'm going to go without that here. But it's all about building flavors and, you know, kind of customizing with what you have, using different vegetables, using different marinades. Obviously, grilling brings out a whole bunch of different flavors. We've got the creaminess of the hummus. We've got the really sweet peppers. We've got the tart jam. So there's just lots of flavors in here that folks can enjoy. And
well, Chef Margaret, we have a very engaged group. I have a couple more questions coming in for you. So the first question, I think I can actually answer it because it's a project we've been working on together, you and I. So
yes,
the question is, hello, in the age of COVID, can you make individual small plates? And so I think, you know, we've been using bento boxes as a great way to do small individual portions. Is there another plate or platter that you may recommend for individual charcuterie boards?
Absolutely. Again, in the day of COVID, we are busy reinventing ourselves. And one of the things that we're offering is items for people to enjoy at home on the weekend. And so we have designed boxes, clear top boxes that have a charcuterie or a cheese or an antipasti in them. They're perfect for home delivery. They're really nice to take out by the pool if you want to, you know, have something outside and you don't want to have to haul out the heavy board. And they're really amazing for a picnic. I love picnics. There's nothing I love more than a nice picnic. So building an antipasti or a cheese board or charcuterie in a box really makes it portable and easy to eat.
Awesome. Now, if we're about to serve the charcuterie that you're plating up right now, what would we use for, you know, people to put the food on their plate? Are we giving them forks or toothpicks or tongs?
Yeah, so on this tray over here, the one I did, I have little forks, I have little tongs and little spoons for the items that you need to spoon. And I think, you know, it really depends on your audience. In my world, we don't need a fork. we just sit down and enjoy it. I guess it depends on the company you're with. You might, you know, add a fork, or again, if you're going on a picnic, you know, they have those portable little bamboo tongs and things like that. So
And then I just have one last question for you so far, while you keep walking us through this beautiful setup that you have. So you talked about some of the flavor profiles. Is there a certain way to set up the board that assists with those flavor profiles on, you know, is there something that you want to guide the guests to enjoy first where that flavor profile is not as bold and might overpower something else?
I'm not designing it that way right now. I think that eating these items together, you know, they all go very well together. And definitely, you know, I would be talking about the flavors of cheese with the people I'm dining with or entertaining. I would let them know which cheeses are sharper, which cheeses are soft and creamy. So I think that everything would go together well. The method to my madness right now is more to, you know, build it, make it look fun, add lots of color, height, and texture, and then I'm sure, you know, people would enjoy. The nice thing about this is, you know, it's obviously a very indulgent thing to eat. If you load up on pepperoni and salami and capicola, it could be, you know, a very indulgent, heavy item. But the nice thing is that some of these meats and these cheeses are just loaded with flavor. So you can really get a lot of flavor should you choose to eat a little bit of spicy pepperoni or maybe some of the really sharp provolone, and then really enjoy the rest of the vegetables with it. You can make kind of healthier choices with little bites of the more indulgent items. So there we go with that, and now I have some gorgeous heirloom tomatoes. And again, as far as knife skills, you want to make sure that you use the right knife for the job. You probably wouldn't want to use this knife to take out the core of the tomato. So I'm going to slice up some of these beauties. I've got some gorgeous brandywines and golden tomatoes. These are also local. These are from McClellan Farms in Phoenix. So really quick again, I'm using my fingers as a guide.
And I assume you intentionally selected 3 different colors to kind of give some dimension and pop to your platter?
Absolutely. It's all about the visual, right? We eat with our eyes first. And there are also a lot of different flavors in these tomatoes. So adds, like you said, another dimension. So we've got our tomato slice. And then I've got some beautiful fresh mozzarella, which I did already slice, and I'm gonna sneak that right in here. I'm gonna layer a tomato and a mozzarella and a tomato and a mozzarella.
So we have another question that just came in. So what are some of your favorite fruits to put on a board like this? I think sometimes it's hard for everyone to imagine how they should pair if they don't have the, you know, culinary expertise like yourself. So what would you recommend for some good fruits to pair with this charcuterie?
So right now, this is really a great time for stone fruit, and so that's why I picked the beautiful peaches that I grilled. It's also ending cherry season out here, so I've got some gorgeous rainier cherries that I'm going to add to the platter. I think any fruit, and really use the season as the guide. You know, going into fall, we're going to have pomegranate and persimmons and cranberries, apples and pears. I would start really tapping into those, you know, in the fall season. But when it's really fresh and summery, we've got the grapes, we've got the stone fruit, we've got berries, we've got, you know, cherries, and, you know, all of those really great things.
Another question for you. So what is a good alcoholic drink that you would pair with this board? I know we're featuring that's the special cocktail today, Wild Thymes and Cool Breezes, and we know this, you know, pairs really well. But is there any other cocktails or maybe a certain kind of wine that may pair really well with the charcuterie?
Absolutely. My very favorite thing in the whole wide world is a nice chilled Pinot Grigio and an antipasti and some beautiful artisan breads. That's kind of my summer go-to wine. It's nice and fresh. It's fruity. It goes with all the different flavors. Also, a Sangiovese, an Italian Sangiovese is beautiful and goes very well with these flavors. Chianti would do well too. So, you know, there's lots of different varieties, but I'd say go for a little bit lighter and maybe a touch fruitier and sweeter, and you should be good to go. So you'll see I just added figs. These are hyper-local. These are from my yard. Those are another great summer fruit. I've added some almonds, some pistachios, just for a little bit of crunch. Here you'll see I've got some gorgeous roasted garlic. This is one of my favorite things to have with antipasti or with bread. So The garlic is roasted in the oven for about 45 minutes or an hour. It has a little drizzle of olive oil. When it comes out, you can simply squeeze these really delicious garlic cloves onto your bread and use it as a spread, like you would butter, but with a whole lot more flavor. So here we go with our garlic. I also want to add a little indulgence, and I've got some dark chocolate. Dark chocolate goes very well with many different cheeses. Milk chocolate actually goes better with the sharp cheese, and dark chocolate with some of the softer, creamier cheese. So we're gonna do like that. And I think I've pretty much filled up this board. I am gonna now season everything.
Chef, would you recommend a pate for this board?
A pate would be nice. I don't know that it necessarily goes with the Italian as much. On a charcuterie or cheese board, a pate would be certainly a very nice option. You know, if you're talking about a nice picnic platter, I think that would be very well. Typically, Italian platters have cured meats. So that's what I'm used to. But I mean, it certainly wouldn't hurt. And the fun thing about this is when you build a platter, there's no rules. You can make it all about what you like. You can make it all about what's available and seasonal, and just make it delicious and fun.
Well, that board sure does look beautiful. I did just get a call from New Jersey that the big green egg is all fired up and ready to show soon. So
just 1 second more. We're going to finish this off with a little bit of balsamic drizzle. Just adds a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color. And that is that. A little funny for you. So what happened when the salami went to the doctor? The doctor said, "I'm sorry, I can't help you. You're already cured."
it's a good one.
And with that, I say cheers and hand it off to Chef John Ryan, world-renowned chef at the Jersey Shore, and I'm going to fist bump you at the Jersey Shore. Here you go, John Ryan. Cheers.
Hey, cheers. Hey, thanks, Margaret. Hey, welcome everybody to the sunny Jersey Shore. We're gonna have a great time today. As you can see behind us, look at the water, look at the weather. Hey, we got our garden here. We got everything local. We're gonna pick some great herbs from there today. We're gonna use the green egg today. I mean, a lot of people are intimidated with the green egg, but we're gonna show you a couple of things. You don't really need to be intimidated with it. It's actually fun. We have a great menu planned for you guys today. We have everything local. You know, perfect example. This morning I went fishing. I got the swordfish. We're all set. We're good. You know, came up right here. Only kidding. We actually this morning it came in and went down to Cape May. We picked it up in Cape May. One of the fishing guys was there. So I got talking to him. I was telling him, hey, you know, we're doing this and everything. So beautiful swordfish, takes it. We bring it inside. He cuts it up there. I was like, wow, this is fantastic. So you're going to see today, it's line caught, it's local. I mean, everything, the Jersey corn, the tomatoes. I mean, you can see here some local farms and everything where it's from. So first of all, we're going to start off, you know, with the green egg itself. I mean, like I said earlier, guys, it can be a little intimidating, but there should be no reason for it. I mean, it's a ceramic grill. It gets very hot. I can tell you right now, this thing can get up to 900 degrees. Most grills, you know, if you have a Weber or something, will get up to around 600, give or take. This will get to 900. Best steak you'll ever get off here. Like any steakhouse, you're gonna get a beautiful crust on the outside. You can bake in here. You can put a pizza stone in here. You can smoke in here. I mean, this can go probably once. I think the best I ever had it, guys, was about 14 hours without touching it for a piece of meat. It was absolutely fantastic. So today we're going to start off with the swordfish. I'm going to show you how to do those nice diamonds. You know, everybody says, oh yeah, how do you do those nice diamonds on it? Even me, sometimes it can be a pain, but we're gonna take a shot at it, guys. We got our beautiful swordfish here. So what we're gonna do today is with the swordfish. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, guys, I want to brush it with a little oil. So let's get some herbs. Let's get some rosemary from the garden.
So while you're doing that, Chef, if I don't have a big green egg, can I still follow the recipe that you have for us tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. It can be done on any grill. I mean, propane, charcoal, you know, either one, it doesn't really matter. As long as you have a grill, you're fine. Keep it in medium heat. I wouldn't, you know, obviously I talked earlier about the 900 degrees and everything. I would probably keep it at, you know, maybe 400 or so around that. You want to cook fish on a medium heat. You want to keep it well basted with, you know, if it's herbs and a little maybe olive oil or, you know, something like that. So what we're going to do right now, guys, is we're going to take the fish. You know, instead of using a basting brush, I like to use fresh herbs. You know, just give it a little nice dab there, guys. There, a little there. I'm going to put a little, I like a little Old Bay on it, guys. A little salt, a little pepper. Boom, right? So just turn that around a little bit, guys. You can use anything. I mean, if you want to, guys, you can also, hey, you can say, you know what, I don't like that. Okay, you can use blackening seasoner. You can go straight up with salt and pepper. That's fine. So when I put it in, I like to put it in on an angle. What I usually use like a time as an idea. I'll say, okay, when I put it independent, okay, it's here. I'm gonna go at 11 and 4. Okay, so we're going to let that sit for a little bit. We want to get those beautiful diamonds on it. But we also have with this, we have our roasted corn relish. So we can't forget that as well. So while we have that, I have a little bit here. I'm just going to go, I have a little bit of olive oil on it. I'm also going to go just a little bit of this here, salt here. A little pepper as well, guys.
So, Chef, if you're not a fan of swordfish, is there another fish that you may recommend?
Yeah, I mean, any firm white fish or any firm fish in general will work. Absolutely. There's absolutely no reason. I mean, you can also marinate it if you care to, but I mean, this is such a beautiful fish. There's really no reason to. Like I said, this swordfish probably was caught, you know, like a day or so ago. Technically, I mean, I should say it's probably around 60 miles or so off the catch here. Blue marlin's another fish that's very popular around here. Shark, for instance, a neighbor of ours here maybe a couple of months ago caught a shark. He was about 160 pounds.
Wow.
It was absolutely beautiful. I had the opportunity to get some steaks off that. We're talking about the grill as well. I have this going. We have the corn going, guys. We just want to give the corn also a little bit of color. We don't have to give it too much. We want it to have a bite when it comes off for the salads. Fish we got going, so we're good with there. In about another second, because of the temperature, guys, we're going to flip it in the other direction, just like here. So now we're kind of at that 2 and 7 over here and at the bottom. So while that's cooking up a little bit, I'm going to pass you over to Chef James. He's going to do the fennel salad part of this. And James.
Thank you, John. So we're going to be making a nice little fennel, citrus, and red onion salad. Fennel has a beautiful light licoricey flavor. Citrus, they pair very, very well with fish, right? Very classic, very clean flavors. We don't want to muddy it up. So I'm going to go ahead. I've got my fennel bowl, which I've cut in half. And what I'm going to do to start is I'm going to take out our core. Our core is very woody. It's tough to eat. I'm going to start by taking that out right there. You can see. Go on. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my knife and I'm going to just slice very thin pieces, as thin as possible. If you have a mandolin at home, that's a beautiful piece of equipment to use as well. Nice thin pieces just like that, okay? Let's throw that right into our bowl there. You can use lemon, you can use orange. You know, citrus and fish, like I said, are a beautiful, beautiful classic combination. I'm going to take the orange. We're going to cut some supremes out of the orange. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the ends off the orange here, just like that. Sit it flat. So now you got a flat surface. It's not going to roll around, right? And I'm just going to take my knife nice and slowly, peel that rind off. We don't want any white. The white of this orange can get very bitter. So we just want the segments there. Beautiful. And what I'm going to do is, as you can see on the orange there, there's the little white stripes right between the actual segments, right? You want to go right in the middle of that. If you can see that perfect, look at that, our nice supreme. So I'm gonna get a few of these going in here. There we are. Tarragon's a really nice herb as well. We're gonna throw some fresh chives from Chef John's garden in here, but tarragon pairs really well with fish. Again, another anisey, licoricey type flavor. Chives are really nice, give a little bit of an onion bite there, not too much. But again, you want your salad to be very fresh, very clean flavors there. And what I'm gonna do is take our red onion. And what I did is I took our red onion, I cut it in half, and then I cut it in half again, so I quartered it. Cutting red onions can be a little bit tricky. What I like to do is peel off the layers like so. And what I like to do is kind of flatten it and then just run my knife. And I can get a really, really nice thin slice out of that. Nice little julienne. You don't want the bite to be too thick, or else your whole mouth's going to be taken over by that oniony flavor. Put that right inside there. Nice and lovely. I'm going to squeeze a little bit of nice fresh lemon juice. Beautiful. A little bit of olive oil here, just a drizzle.
Now, is there a certain kind of olive oil you would recommend, Chef?
Just a nice, clean, extra virgin olive oil. You want to use a finishing oil that's got a nice, pumice, a nice, a pungent flavor. Nothing too strong. But I like the cold press, the extra virgin there. If you want, you can use a canola oil. Let's say it's got a little less flavor. It's more about the fat in that situation. But you want flavor because it's a nice, fresh, clean dish. I have a little bit of our South Jersey honey here as well. And I'm just going to go ahead and toss this up, throw a little bit of sea salt and fresh black pepper. And that is our nice, very simple citrus red onion fennel salad there. And that's going to be the base to our plate for the swordfish. Chef John, back to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you caught me, James. We were just finishing off the swordfish here. The swordfish only takes a couple of minutes, especially when we're kind of working here on this heat. Like I said, we have medium heat, but to be honest with you, 5-6 minutes, we're good on this. The corn, really, the whole idea is just to kind of just brown it up a little bit on the outside, caramelize it a little bit. So, it's good. For instance, this is perfect, guys. This is perfect. And you know what we're going to do now, because we can, we have the time. James, if you don't mind, in a couple of minutes, if you could watch that, we'll pull it off in a second or two. We're going to go with the relish with the Jersey tomatoes, the Jersey corn, and the avocado and the serrano peppers. Again, we got local Jersey tomatoes here. We're going to do it kind of a little different, guys. These tomatoes are beautiful tomatoes, as you'll see here. These are fantastic. They're local farm here in New Jersey. What we're going to do is take the core off, guys, like we're doing here. Just kind of do it like that. Down. Like to take the inside out. It's just, you know what? The reason why we do that is just, it's not so fleshy when you're eating it. You don't have the seeds and everything as well. So it just makes it the flavor much more intense as well when you're eating it. Tomatoes are outstanding for you. Very high in vitamins, very high in antioxidants. So, they're beautiful. Like I said, check these out. We're also going to just take them. What you're going to do is dice. The wider you make your lines, your vertical lines, the wider your cut's going to be, and your down cut as well. So a medium dice is where we're going to go with this. We're going to go boom, boom. If I had smell-o-vision here, guys, it'd be great. It smells fantastic, these things. The herbs, the fresh herbs, everything. Great. While our fish is cooking there, we're gonna be all set. We're gonna have a fantastic dinner here. We got some guests here that's also looking at us here, salivating, going, oh boy. So, okay, we got the tomatoes. Next, we're gonna go with the serrano peppers. We got okay, we got a little serranos. We just take the tops off, guys. We want to take the seeds out of here as well, because number one, it will be way too hot for you.
If I don't like really spicy things, is there another pepper I could substitute to
Yeah,
make it a little bit more
certainly
mild?
you can certainly put a a bell pepper in there. It would work out absolutely fine as well. So we just want to put a little bit, guys. We want a small dice on this here. Small dice, just a little bit in there. The corn we're going to take directly off the cob here, guys. Look at this nice grilled corn here. This is one of the best times right now in Jersey for corn. I mean, this is a little mix between a white and a yellow corn, so you got like really that sweetness coming out of it as well. It's fantastic. So let's put that here. Here, you see the nice colors. Real summer, real light. That's what we're talking about, right, guys? Okay. A little avocado as well. And, okay, so when you get an avocado, these are beautiful. These are ripe. There's a couple of ways. I mean, you could skin it. In my case, I'm just going to dice it like this, folks, in the shell. This beautiful and ripe.
It's quite a fancy knife you have, Chef.
Thank you very much. It's we have a few of them here. It's our LifeWorks chef knives that we use everywhere. So we're going to mix this up as well.
I have a question from the group in regards to a suggestion for vegetarian protein. If somebody does not eat fish and we're looking for a vegetarian option, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I mean, obviously on a grill like this, because of the firmness and everything, I would probably say with a nice marinated tofu would probably go nice. Cut it nice and thick, but you know what? You can put the same diamonds on it as we did with the swordfish. Brush it, maybe, even with the herbs as well. Just it'll pick up the flavor, the intensity of it, and bring it out. So, okay, we got a little cilantro, chopped cilantro as well. We're gonna put a little sea salt, a little black pepper. Gonna mix that up, and just throw a little vinegar. Just, you can throw a little more or a little less vinegar depending on it, because it's kind of like an oil and vinegar dressing. So it's up to you. I like to leave it a little bit with a little bit more vinegar, just because I tend to like that bitterness a little bit more. So, all right. So we have that with this. We're going to put this right on top. So this is our dish here. Thank you very much, Chef, for helping me out there on that. That was fantastic. So we have our grilled line caught swordfish with the fennel citrus salad underneath, and then we're going to finish it with our tomato avocado relish. And there's a little fries that we have from the fennel. You can put a couple of things on it there if you want, but I think on this we will put a little.
Chef, in regards to the portion on that piece of fish, when you go to the market, about how big is that piece of fish when it comes to ounces?
This piece here is probably about 7 to 8 ounces here of this piece.
Okay.
I would probably suggest most people, this is really nice. It's a beautiful piece here, but I would suggest probably a 6-ounce piece is probably the average for most people. This was a little bit bigger, but again, it's up to yourself what you like. So the swordfish with the salad, and without further ado as well, we have a special guest today. The only local brewery down the shore here in North Wildwood, MudHen. My friend Tony, take it away.
Hi, how you doing? So we're actually located about 3 miles south of here in Anglesey, on the main part of the island. Really happy to meet John and see all this great local food and this great swordfish caught locally dish. And what we wanted to do is bring some beer that would pair well with this dish. I actually couldn't decide on just one. I had to bring 2. I would have brought all 12 that we have on draft, but definitely 2 specifically that would pair very well with all of these great, wonderful ingredients, especially considering all the great herbs that are involved here for the dish. You know, the kind of the easy go-to for us at MudHen Brewing Company is our Pilsner. It's very approachable. As a brew pub locally, we try to bring people into craft beer that may not really all the time drink craft beer. And so our thing there is our MudHen Pilsner. It's really light, and yeah, I've been sampling and making sure that the beer was okay before we got on camera here. But so we have a nice, crisp, clean Pilsner. We use Liberty hops in this beer, which is sourced from Willamette Valley in Oregon. It's a Hallertau, or a German hop varietal derivative that's really nice, and it has a little bit of spice and a little bit of lemon, actually. And for us, it's a hopier side of a Pilsner. It's around 26 international bittering units, but really still approachable and refreshing, and pairs really well with any seafood dish, and especially swordfish with all the stuff, all these great ingredients involved. To go with it too, we just came out last week and tapped our what's called Whimsy. I kind of did it on a whim. It is our Belgian Ardennes yeast, our house Ardennes yeast that we make our wit beer. What I like to do is I let it rise a little bit higher in temperature. We get a little bit of spiciness from that yeast. And then I got some elderflower, some dried elderflower. The first time I ever used it was a little nervous. We opened it up in the brewery, and it was very, very aromatic, almost on a spicy Italian spice side. I was fairly nervous. Then we infused it into the beer and introduced it into the beer downstream, and we get a really good back, like kind of herbal, nice, floral and effervescent beer. A little bit of bittering, about 18 IBUs, and it's extremely nice in the summertime. A farmhouse ale, maybe considered a summer saison, although it's not French yeast, but it's our Belgian Ardennes, and something that we can really pair with all those great herbs from the garden that really kind of go with our swordfish dish that John has prepared, James has prepared for everybody.
All right. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Tony.
Sure.
With that, if there's any more questions.
I don't have any more questions right now. Let's open it up to the group and see if there's any more questions.
Before we go, I want all the team members here to give a goodbye with our cocktails, and thank you very much to the SHFM as well for hosting us. We look forward in the near future to do more. So, if there is no more, cheers, guys. Thank you. And here's to the next time.
Thank you, chefs, and thank you, SHFM and the LifeWorks group. And thanks for all that joined us tonight. We appreciate you joining our culinary tour.
Cheers. Cheers.
Cheers.